Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. I am excited to be with you today sharing a creation for the Trinity third birthday party release hop. This hop is celebrating their third birthday at Trinity Stamps, and there are some amazing new products. There's some great ideas in this hop. There's also a giveaway, so make sure you comment and hop along, commenting as you go. Visit the Trinity Stamps blog for even more chances to win. And now we're going to jump in and get started with my card. So I'm starting out with this Cake and Candles brand new stencil set. I'm going to be building a cake. So I'm taping my 8x3 piece of paper to the back of the stencil, and then I'm going to use some Huffy tape to mask off the other area so I don't accidentally get ink there. You can also cut this stencil down the middle. There is a line if you preferred it to be two stencils. The line could also help line stuff up your paper when you're trying to build this cake. So once I have the cake stand done, I'm going to remove my paper from the stencil and I'm going to scoot it down so that first layer of cake that I want on my plate will look like it's sitting on the plate and not have a gap between it. So if you stencil it just like it is, there will be gaps in between the layers. So now I'm masking off above and below this section, and I'm going to use purple ink. Now, when I was stenciling this, I found that middle swirly piece to be really thin, so I just switched from using my makeup style blending brush and I got a sponge dauber and I just tapped in the ink, and that made it so that little swirly part did not move on me. So there is my purple cake layer, and then I'm just going to show you the actual stenciling and not removing the stencil and positioning it every single time. So I have the pink layer. I did a really light hand on that, and then I'm going to go over it with this polka dot layer. So I did a pink solid layer and then a pink polka dot layer. For the orange, I'm also doing the solid layer, and then I will add the stripes. Now for both of these, I did tone on tone. I did the same color of ink, and they ended up drying back a lot lighter than they looked right there. So I'm going to accent those at the end. You'll see that. And then for this yellow layer, I'm doing the solid piece, and then there's a skinnier strip that you can use to maybe make it look like filling. I did tone on tone here too, but I could tell right away I needed a darker color for the center. So I did a darker strip of yellow with a little bit darker ink. And next I have my green layer. I started out with frayed leaf ink. All the inks I'm using today are from Altenew. It wasn't quite the right green that I wanted, so I went over the top of it with bamboo. That worked really well, but I forgot to mask, and so I had a little green strip. So I'm going to fix that by making the center layer of this blue section a little bit darker color and really saturate the paper, and that did the trick. All right, back to purple for my top layer. I love this layer because it has what looks like the icing at the top, and it's kind of scalloped. So I love this one for the top layer. There's also a little piece you could use to add a banner to the top of the cake, but I'm not doing that today because I'm gonna have a cute thing on top. All right, so I wanted this to match my stamping, and you know, stamping is a black outline with a colored inside. So I took my little liner pen and I was very nervous. I thought, I'm ruining it. This is horrible. Why am I doing this? But I just kept going, and then I was like, oh, it's not good. So I decided, let's just keep going again and make the lines connect for each layer, and then I was much happier with it. So I fussy cut this out so it would be its own standalone piece instead of having it be right on my card base, and I was liking it even better once I cut it out. I thought, okay, this is pretty cute. And the stamp that I'm using is somewhat whimsical. This is the Best Tea Party set. I've already done a video on this, a sneak peek that had the light up lanterns on it. So I had already stamped another set of all the images when I made that card, so I would have it ready to go. But for today, I'm just going to use this little bear with the flowers on its head. And I'm using warm gray markers. Warm gray 6 was my lightest. W10 is my darkest, which I'm using right here, putting in those shadows, and then W8 to kind of blend that out for my mid-tone color. And I will go back over it a few times with my W6 to really soften out the blend, and I thought having a black bear would be really super cute. I did some really light brown bears the first time I played with this, so I had to do something different, and it seemed to be the best color to color the bear to go with my card today. So for the lighter areas, I'm using W2 and W4, and then it really coordinates with what is going on for the darkest parts of the bear. I added some yellow, pink, and orange for the flowers, as well as some pink to the cheeks and the little teacup. Now here, watch how I add the white gel pen and how it really helps bring this bear to life, adding those white highlights, some lines and some dots. I like to add that on their cheeks, on their nose, on their eyes, just a little element of shine. And there it is. I also added gel pen to the flower, mushroom, and bee, which you'll see how I incorporate those. I'm going to go ahead and die cut all of this out, except the flower and the mushroom, because you can see I didn't color that stump. I'm going to cut that out with my scissors so that I can use this as a little cake topper. I thought that would be cute. So there we have it all cut out. And now I thought I needed to add some white highlights to my cake. So here's where I'm going to accent those lines. You can see how they really faded out. I just went right up against them and added the lines to the cake that's orange. And then for the pink layer, I could barely see those dots. So I tried to just go over them with a little bit darker Copic marker, which I wish I would have done when I was stenciling, a little bit darker pink, and then it would have been perfect. So that cake is all ready to go. Next, I'm bringing in the Puffy Cloud Layers stencil. I love this Slimline cloud stencil. It has clouds on all 4 sides, so you can do a horizontal or vertical card. I just rotate it around and use every side. I never had to repeat a section going all the way down my vertical card. So there you have it. I used the same blue that I used in my cake for the cake stand, and I thought it was a really great color for the sky. It was dewdrops. And then bamboo ink for the grass. This is from the Spring Day Scene Builder. Both of these 2 stencils are from the last release. This one also has a stencil in it that you can create a tree on a slimline card. It's super cool. All right, now I have some Perfect Pearl powder I'm putting onto a window sheet, and then with a scraggly little paintbrush and some water, I'm going to splatter my background for a little bit of shimmer. Now most of this background will be completely covered up, so I really tried to focus on getting some splatter on the top and the sides, but you can see, super yummy. Love it. Okay, this is the Slimline Striped Frame Panel Die Set. I'm so in love with this. I die cut it from black, and I'm going to glue this down to my 8.5 by 7 slimline card that's scored at 3.5. So this die is 8.5 by 3.5. And now my panel, remember, was 8 by 3, so you can just see those stripes peeking out from around it. I love this look, and to have a slimline die that does it makes me so happy. Okay, I am popping up my cake onto my card. I used some foam strips since it was so big. And then there's my cake topper, the little flower and the little mushroom, and then my bear sitting right on top of the cake. I don't know how this idea came to me, but because the bear's sitting, I thought it would be so cute to have this bear sit on top of a giant cake. This is the Supporting Sentiments stamp set. I'm going to stamp Make-A-Wish, yeah, now that my card's all the way done, right onto the cake. It was very scary. I did have a little bit light area in the E, so I just took my same liner pen and filled it in. Now check out the new tool for picking up your gems and poking out the pieces in your dies. And by the way, you see this rainbow of goodness on my left-hand side here? Those are all brand new to the Trinity shop. They're these assortment of gems in the most amazing iridescent colors. Everything in the rainbow. So I'm going to add those all the way down my cake in every color. I'm going to link them all for you below so you can go over and check them out and decide if you also, like me, need to have the entire rainbow. I'm sure you do. Yeah. So then I decided I couldn't stop. I had to add one to the flower, and if I added one to that flower, I might as well put the tiniest gem in the center of each of those flowers on the bear's head. So I did that, and I thought it looked so fabulous. You gotta have embellishment and bling. I guess not every time, but most times. Okay, now we have the big and bold sentiments, perfect for your slimline cards. Are you addicted to slimline cards like me? I hope so, because they're my favorite. It's just like this brand new size of a card really sparked my mojo again. So I love Slimline. Okay, so now I'm taking all those beautiful inky colors and I'm inking up portions of this stamp so that it will be rainbowed. And it's going to say happy birthday. There's so many fun sentiments in that big bold set and some really cool things you can do with it. So there's my rainbow happy birthday, and I'm going to bring in the Stitched Strips die set and die cut this out with the largest die from this set, and it will have stitching on both sides, really the top and the bottom, except I am mounting my sentiment the long way for something fun on the inside of my card. And there it is. So many fun new things in this release, you guys. I only just barely touched on it. So make sure you check out my links below and go check out the new products, and don't forget to leave a comment so you can be entered to win the $25 shopping spree, and the hop ends on July 2nd and the winners will be announced on July 6th. So make sure you check back with Trinity Stamps to figure out if you are the lucky winner. Thank you so much for stopping by and hopping along with us. I will see you all again very soon with more creations from Trinity Stamps and more. Happy stamping! Bye!